Hi, Marco, and thank you for joining Shoes in Bitcoin.
Hello, hello, greetings. Thank you for having me.
It's a huge pleasure, and I'm impatiently waiting to know more about your project that you're going to share with me and all the viewers of this educational and informative video that we are preparing today. Thank you once again. Um, so, please, the floor is yours. I would really love to start with a little bit having more information about your background and how you have joined the industry of Bitcoin.
Sure. Thank you. So, yeah, basically, yeah, just about me very briefly. I would say I'm a software engineer. My field is, I'm born in this distributed system. So, what basically keeps, if people think about Amazon.com or in general, major website, you need distributed system to keep them running. And basically Bitcoin is a kind of distributed system, but I will say decentralized. So that was like for me a strike. I was still in high school when I discovered about Bitcoin, so I said, okay, I want to focus this at some point in my career. I launched in a town in north of Italy called Reggio Emilia. I started this ReggioBit.it in 2014. Basically was a cash only OTC desk. I met with people face to face. I sell Bitcoin for cash at that time. For me was super fun and also a way to know people that want to know about Bitcoin, and also the most easy way for people that especially didn't have maybe a credit card, a bank account, to get their own Bitcoin. And so that was very fun. Not of course, it didn't become a proper company and so on. Then I started, working other fields, I would say, in software engineering space, in various company. I moved to first to Milan, then to Berlin. So I traveled a bit. But yeah, at some point I said, okay, I want to get back to Bitcoin. And so, in 2017, I co-founded Vulpem, which at the beginning was focusing, on cybersecurity around, cryptocurrencies in general. So we helped other companies to keep, their server secure, and somewhat they were, doing something in crypto, like, centralized exchange, or, in general, other cryptocurrencies company. We were helping on that. In last 2 years, we decided to focus more on Bitcoin only, and especially on second layers, such as Liquid Network. So yeah, and also Vulpem is a federation member of the Liquid Network. So yeah, we basically build tools and we help other partner to do that. Also, I'm currently tech lead at Seven Labs, which is one of the creator of protocols of TDEX, which is basically a way to do decentralized exchange on the Liquid Network. So yeah, this is basically what I'm doing currently.
Great, thank you. Okay.
So yeah, please.
No, here more or less you're sharing on the second slide the links to the projects that you are currently involved in and you're supporting. Yeah, I would love to know more about each and every, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. So yeah, a couple of things I'm working on. Yeah, as I said, Liquid Network is to me the way to build more stuff on the Bitcoin blockchain. So besides having some more feature like these the blocks are much faster. The transactions are confidential, meaning that user, when they send transaction in the Liquid Network, the amount and the asset type is blinded, meaning that is not visible in the blockchain. So this is increased a lot of privacy, and of course you can create assets on the Liquid Network, something that you cannot do on the Bitcoin main chain. And yeah, and also you have more way to do more advanced smart contract, I will say. That's something a catchy word. So yeah, that's something that in general, more broader, I'm more involved and working on it.
And I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Because really I haven't seen a definition, actually an accurate definition, and I really like that what you have written here, how it works. So Bitcoin on the Liquid network are verifiably backed one by one by Bitcoin on the Bitcoin main chain. So basically, if you have one liquid Bitcoin, it represents one Bitcoin on the main chain.
Exactly, yes. I would say that it's so-called sidechain, meaning that there is no special liquid token or cryptocurrency. Like, it's not another blockchain. Is a in a sense is a chain which uses as a native coin to pay for fees, to pay for transactions fees with this so-called liquid Bitcoin, which is 101 pegged to the Bitcoin on the of course, the consensus are different. How the blocks are created is different than Bitcoin. So there is no mining involved. There is a federation which sign blocks. So it is a federation that creates block. Of course, this is something more for traders or less, I will say, less adversarial context. So I will use Bitcoin for censorship, maximum censorship resistant, but maybe for traders or people that wants the feature that Liquid offers, maybe the trade-off of having a federation of multiple actor creating the blocks. This is maybe somewhat acceptable, right? So it depends on the use case.
Right. And you have mentioned something about the privacy, that there is an increased privacy. Does it mean that there is nothing like the blockchain explorer where we can check each and every block and all the transactions inside? So does it mean it's not traceable?
No, absolutely not, in a sense that everyone can run a node, a liquid node, I would say, much like Bitcoin, right? So everyone can validate the blocks. So everyone can see the transaction, can see the block, likewise the Bitcoin main chain. The only difference is that inside the transaction, you can see maybe a transaction, you can see the addresses, right? But you cannot see how much and what, most importantly, is being transferred, right, in the transaction, meaning that it's much easier, to have more privacy, right? And yeah, so everyone can validate. So there is a cryptographic way to validate that no one is creating more Bitcoin or is destroying Bitcoin. With it's called zero knowledge proof. This is maybe something catchy, a word catchy in the word, but actually Liquid uses this cryptographical innovation to do this. But at the same time, everyone can verify the blockchain, the Liquid blockchain.
It's verifiable unless the amounts and the types of the assets, right? So this is
yes, you can verify that that the transaction is valid, so no one is creating an asset out of nothing, but you cannot see how much and what, right? So it's like kind of magic. I don't know how to.
Okay, I got the main idea. However, so when you say that we cannot identify the type, what other types of, what can be these types of assets that cannot be verified? Because we are referring this to the main chain of Bitcoin, so I assume we're talking only about Bitcoin. But now you're talking about types
Yeah.
of assets. So where is the magic here?
Another I would say another feature of Liquid is the fact that you can create your own asset, meaning that you don't have only Bitcoin. You can create, like, there is Tether, for example, the Tether dollar, like on other chain. There is also on Liquid. Everyone can create his own token, for example, maybe a shares. A company wants to do a security token. can do on the Liquid sidechain, or whatever token, an NFT, for example. There are a lot of movement around NFTs. So meaning that an artist can create a representation of his own artwork or whatever, or maybe a game, like a video game, can create his own representation of gaming items. And so yeah, everyone can create an asset. So that's why I say not only how much you're sending, but also what. So no one can know if you're maybe sending a Liquid transaction with Bitcoin, Tether, or an NFT, or a whatever token you want to do.
Okay, but I'm still here missing something, and again, I would like to please kindly ask you to excuse me for these questions that I am raising up here. But okay, so when we talk, this is a side chain that is always corresponding to the main chain of Bitcoin. Then we are talking about, and I assume, and I understand it, when it's a side chain, it means it's a fixed amount of Bitcoins that cannot be increased or decreased, so they have the same representative value on the side chain. But from the other side, we have started talking about Tether and NFTs and additional liquid-based assets. So, and it means all of these assets are backed up on the main chain by Bitcoin, but they can be different. So this is something I'm a little bit confused with.
Yes, of course. Only Bitcoin can be represented from Bitcoin to the Liquid sidechain. Instead, all the other assets, I would say, are created inside Liquid. So of course, they have value, and also they can only be transferred inside Liquid, so they cannot leave, so to speak, right? So it's like on that matter is only Bitcoin, which is pegged between Bitcoin and Liquid.
Okay, so for example, me today, I would love to transfer some Satoshis on Liquid using your wallet, which you're going to show me later. So I have, and let's say I have 1,000 Satoshis that I'm sending and converting into Liquid. So I'm moving into the side chain. And what I can do with these 1,000 Satoshis?
Yes, basically, imagine, I will just bear with me, but I will just make this similarity with you're freezing, right? Basically sending your Bitcoin to the Federation, which gives you the right to create, let me say this, on the Liquid, the same amount that you basically you froze, basically, I would say this, on the Bitcoin main chain. Once you have your own Liquid Bitcoin, you can of course move them, or you can use it to pay for transaction fees, or for example to receive or send Tether, or to send or receive an NFT, or create a new NFT, because you want to create a new token, you need to pay a little bit of Bitcoin as a Liquid Bitcoin as a transaction fee.
Okay, for example, I'm sending 1,000 Satoshis Bitcoins, and I'm converting them to L-BTC, Liquid Bitcoin, and then I want to create an asset called Truth in Bitcoin, which is backed up.
Yep.
Okay, and how it's working, what I have to do in order to perform this action.
Okay, I think at the moment you can use maybe some tool, that let you, basically what they do, these tools, is let you create a special transaction, which is called issuance transaction. So once you broadcast, you push this issuance transaction to the network, it will assign to you the asset you decide, like you decide the amount, you decide the name of the ticker, the symbol of your asset, and so on. Also, Blockstream created this registry, right, which is a public website, so everyone can register their own asset, right? So other wallets can know that this asset on the Liquid sidechain has this name, this ticker, the precision, right? How many decimal it. So yeah, I don't think there is there are a couple of tools, visual tool that let you do this. But I'm pretty sure that in the future there will be much more, maybe some websites or something very, very user friendly to create an asset.
Right, great. And my benefits actually, if I decide to move my satoshis, my bitcoins, and to convert them into L-BTC, and then to create potentially my token, my benefits are first the fact that it is more private, not completely private, but there are less information that could be traced. And the second thing is the block time. So every minute there is a new block. It means it's faster. It's faster.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying that for a trader, there are a lot of benefits. Like, I can move my Bitcoin or maybe my Tether or other assets, between exchanges that support Liquid in a much faster way. So in 1 minute instead of waiting 10 minutes. Also, as you said, yes, the benefit is that is confidential. So it's much more private. So especially for traders, right? They don't want to disclose to other trader their own moves. You know what I mean? So they don't want to let other people knows about how many tether, when you move your tether, or and so on. This is something that on other blockchain happens a lot, right? Which is very detrimental to the privacy of the traders.
But for example, you're saying I can move my tethers. If I have tether and I go directly from tether on Liquid Bitcoin, and then I want to peg out, I'm pegging out in Bitcoin.
You need to convert your tether to Bitcoin, right? Before pegging out.
Okay. And this is happening on the Liquid side, the side chain.
Exactly. You need to convert, inside, either in a centralized way or maybe, of course, in a decentralized exchange, which maybe I will show you later.
Okay, but now I'm going to make a very stupid question, most probably.
Please.
But if we enter Liquid with Liquid Tether and then we peg out after converting in Bitcoin, there is no, one of the biggest pros of Bitcoin is the fact that it's limited. It's fixed. There is a fixed supply. So, and there is zero possibility this supply to be artificially increased by Liquid Bitcoin. I know that it may sound stupid, this question, but yeah, this is it.
No,
is there a way to artificially increase the amount of
I don't think so, because as I said before, to peg your Bitcoin, you need to send it to the federation. So the federation has basically a wallet which is public, so everyone can see how much Bitcoin are in Liquid, right? Mm-hmm. So it would be impossible, technically impossible to create more Bitcoin out of that wallet, which is just held by the federation. The federation is just, in the end, a multi-signature on the Bitcoin. From the Bitcoin standpoint, it's just a multi-signature. So if, I don't know, 100 Bitcoin, they can only, be moved 100. So okay, nothing can be created, right?
Yeah. No, it sounds logical. However, I was missing this part with going directly into Liquid and then pegging out. But I assume, what is the role of the federation? What if they have a multi-signature, and what exactly are they doing? And is it by a software or they're doing it manually? How it's working?
Yes, basically they held, there is a federation which held the keys of this very large multi-signature, which keeps, the Bitcoin fund, locked in a way. And there are a subset of functionaries, which are, they are like the miners on Bitcoin. So they create blocks, and they keep, the blockchain running. Everyone can run a full node, so to verify what the functionaries are doing. So in a sense, there is a trust in the federation, right? But at the same time, everyone can validate, what they are doing. So there could be a way, to, I would say, I don't know if this is something too technical, but it's called user-activated software. So if the federation misbehave because it tries to, to censor the blockchain, maybe there are other people that will say, okay, we will create a fork of the blockchain and we will keep them from there, right? So this is not, in general, thing that also the federation members are public. So, and in general, they work in the ecosystem. And again, the sidechain is there for traders. So it's their business to keep it running. And again, I will say that Liquid Network solves some use cases, and for censorship resistant, I mean, Bitcoin is the only way, right? This is another way to scale Bitcoin when maybe you don't need it, right?
Right. So, and you're saying everybody can start can have a liquid full node. Is it a special device that you have to order from somewhere, or is there?
No, absolutely not. Liquid is a very similar to Bitcoin. I mean, is basically the Bitcoin core software plus, all the new thing. And so the software is basically the same. So maybe in the future, there are more smart contract capabilities on, on Liquid, and maybe Liquid can serve as a test bed, for Bitcoin in the future, right? So actually everyone can run a full node. Right now, the blockchain is much easy to run. It's like 10 gigabyte last time I checked. So it's not that big at the moment, of course, because it's very young compared to Bitcoin.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Marco.
Welcome. You're welcome. So
we can proceed with the next slide.
So yeah, that's more or less, working on Liquid. We as Vulpem as a company works a lot on open source tooling for developer. Nigiri Bitcoin, which is basically a tool for developer with one click.
It's not sushi. Let's make it clear.
Sorry.
It is not sushi.
No, exactly. There are, scam coin on other blockchain that stole, our idea, since Nigiri is out there since 3 years, right? So it's
I was talking about food,
Okay. No, usually people think about other, other type of sushi coin or something. So yeah, this is just a tool for developer, right? So developer can work on Liquid and on Bitcoin with this tool much easier. So with one click, they have a complete environment to do their test with their Bitcoin apps or Liquid apps. So that's very niche, I mean, for developer and so on.
Okay, so every developer who is interested in Liquid and would like to test the environment has the opportunity to use Nigiri Bitcoin. Are there other similar software test environments, or how to call it?
I mean, I'm not aware of. Of course, a developer can, do the old way. So he just download all the software of Bitcoin, download the software of Liquid, and does all the configuration manually. This is just a way to help, developer to just, one click, literally, and having everything up. So you have a Bitcoin node, you have a Liquid node, you have a block explorer, you have also a registry like the blockchain registry for Liquid. So everything, of course, for test, a local testnet for developer. But this is just a convenience for developer for doing then testing without, installing a lot of stuff, configuring a lot of stuff, and so on. And so yeah, it's very especially for development.
Great, thank you.
So yeah, that's one thing. The Luis Vulpem is offering basically, as I was saying before, on Liquid you can have other asset like Tether, and sometimes when you want to move Tether on the Liquid sidechain, you need to pay a little bit of fees in Bitcoin, right? So if I have 10 Tether on my wallet, I need, a little bit of Bitcoin also to pay for transaction fees. So this is something okay in general, but sometimes you don't, maybe especially for new user that they just received a token or just received a Tether, they don't have it. So we offer this service for wallet. So this is for other liquid wallet. So they can integrate this taxi basically. So we pay the fees for you in Bitcoin. In exchange, we ask you, a bit of Tether of your own transaction. So for example, I want to send 10 Tether, you will pay like 10 Tether and 50 cent, for example. Those 50 cent are, our service fee and also the mining fee, they cover mining fee. So in this way, you don't need to have, liquid Bitcoin in your wallet to move it.
And is it something that it's still a project, or there are people who have already started using this solution?
We launched this project I will say is just, get starting. Of course, Marina Wallet, which is a wallet also we offer integrated already. So if you download the Marina Wallet for Liquid, of course, you can use it already in production. But maybe, there could come, exchanges or token other issuer, they can ask us, for example, to say, hey, add my own asset, as a payment option. So yeah, we will integrate with other wallets or the other exchange in the future.
Okay, a pay-per-use with USDT or via prepaid package to get an APK?
Yes, there are two types of ways. Usually, like right now is pay, so meaning that you just pay, as I said, like 50 cents in Tether to move your Tether.
Okay, very well, thank you.
So yeah, I was saying another thing that Vulpem is offering is this browser extension, which is called Marina. Is basically, a liquid wallet, like normal liquid wallet to send, receive liquid Bitcoin or receive Tether and other liquid asset, whatever asset liquid supports. But I will say that not only is a wallet in the browser, but also allow developer to create website, and the website can talk directly to the Marina wallet. So maybe, developer can create their own app in the Liquid network, doing some stuff without holding keys, right? So they will just ask the extension to say, hey, please sign this transaction for the user, or maybe, hey, fill the user input of this form in this website automatically, right? So it's a convenience for developer, so they can talk directly with Marina to add liquid functionalities to their website.
Okay, and this is something that is again being confirmed by the federation, or it's something that you are doing it, and then all these transactions in Marina Liquid Wallet, so they're communicating to the sidechain and they're being
Yes, it's a normal wallet. So we connect to a block explorer normal, and we broadcast the transaction, so it's an open source wallet, so everyone can, like a normal, wallet, they can verify the code and so on.
For example.
Sorry?
Like Electrum.
Yes, it's open source, and the keys are, are in your own hand, so the user need to back up the keys. So it's just that instead of being, maybe a mobile app or a desktop app, is a browser extension, right?
Okay, and you're holding the keys.
Yes, it's offered by as open source software.
Okay, good. And for example, and you're saying this is only this is acting as an additional feature on your website if you'd like to integrate this solution. So the only way to use Marina Liquid Wallet is by integrating it on your website or on your
user can use it as a normal wallet, right, to send or receive, but especially if, developer can, write their own web application, right, website or web application like normally, and they can integrate with it, right? So basically meaning that, I don't know, maybe a website is creating a transaction, and then we'll say, okay, please use the balance of the user that is connected. When the user visits, a website, the website can detect, that the user has Marina installed, can detect how many balance it has, and create transaction and ask to the user, hey, do you want to create this transaction? You want to send this, and so on. So maybe users that are already used maybe in other blockchain, like in Ethereum, there is MetaMask. So I would say it's pretty much the same as MetaMask, on the Ethereum blockchain, but for Liquid.
It looks very beautiful. I like very much the colors and user design. What's the difference between Aqua and Marina Liquid?
Aqua is a mobile wallet, so you need to download on your mobile wallet. So instead, Marina is, as I said, a browser extension. So you need to download from Chrome, in the future also Firefox. And yeah, there are two different wallets with two different purpose, I would say. And also Aqua, I would say that also supports Bitcoin, normal Bitcoin, not only Liquid. Instead, Marina is just Liquid only at the moment.
At the moment.
We will see. We just focus on this.
Great, thank you.
Okay, so yeah, I was saying that, at Seven Labs, which I'm leading the tech team, I'm working on TDEX, which basically is a non-custodial decentralized exchange on the Liquid network, again. And and this will allow, everyone to exchange, your own maybe Tether for Bitcoin, or your own NFT or whatever. It's a way to create a decentralized exchange. Is especially thought about, for market makers. So market makers that can create their own exchange and, accepting, trades offer requests from, from all around the network. So yeah, so this is again an open source effort sponsored by Seven Labs. So yeah, we are going to release also a mobile app, much like Aqua, but with, of course, the decentralized trading offering embedded. So yeah, so stay tuned. But I will show you how a browser can integrate this trading, this TDEX with Marina. So I think that will be unifying Marina and TDEX again in the same browser. So.
And how big is the team of TEDx? How many people? You're saying that you're working, you're the technical lead, actually. So.
Yes, I would say we are 6 engineers at the moment. So yeah.
Okay, it's a team who can work 24/7. 6 people are enough for working.
Sometimes we also sleep, and sometimes we also go.
Sometimes you sleep only. Okay.
Exactly. So yeah, that's more or less, introduction on what I'm working on. A lot of Liquid stuff, as I said at the beginning. So yeah, I think maybe we can see a demo of this. Okay. So for example, I was saying that, 1 second. Let me go here. OpenDex is an app which is going to be launched very soon, and OpenDex is integrating TDEX as a swap, as a decentralized exchange protocol for Liquid. And of course, we also helped to integrate with Marina, which is the browser extension over here. So as you can see here, you have your own wallet here as a browser extension. You can log in your own wallet, and here you have your own assets like Liquid Bitcoin, Liquid CAD, for example. Here I have an NFT from Blockstream, an NFT from Light Night, which is a video game which pays you with Lightning Network, some satoshis. I have Tether, of course, here, and yeah, I have also a Blockstream Jade. So today I bought a token which represents an hardware wallet from Blockstream, and I have a token here which gives me, the rights to claim my own Jade when they will be available again. So yeah, that's more or less, it's like normal wallet, so I can, for example, see my transaction.
When you click,
yep.
I'm a little bit curious. For example, when you go back to the assets, to all
Yep.
the assets that you have in your wallet. So, and I'm curious, for example, to see these NFTs you're talking about, how they look
Yep.
in the same way. So this is for the game, MM.
Exactly, it's a skin on the Light Knight. This is Moloch hammer, so it's an hammer in the game. So if I have this NFT, I can trade with other people on the Liquid network this skin, so they can use it in the video game if you play Light Knight.
So basically, all these assets you can send them, or you can receive not only these, but all the assets that are
Exactly.
on Liquid. You can receive them on this wallet. Okay.
Exactly. This, for example, is the block explorer, or it's a blockstream block explorer. So you can see, the detail of your asset, like the name of, the creator decided the name, they decided a ticker, like a symbol. You have other information on here, so you can see where it moved, where it went, and so on, right?
The addresses.
So yeah, basically, as I said, it's a normal wallet, so you can decide which you want to send, like you decide to send liquid card, blah, 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 and so on. So very, very basic, but I think the real thing, I would say that Marina allows, and that's the reason why it is a browser extension, is to connect to other website, I would say, to do stuff. So for example, as I was saying before, we can use TDEX protocol, right, in the Liquid network to trade stuff. For example, here I can decide, which asset. Let's say that I want to, for example, I want to buy or sell, some Bitcoin. Let's say that we are going to here to send some Bitcoin, and again, everything is done locally in this browser app. So there is no server, there is no custodial thing. It's everything done client to client between me and someone, in the TDEX network, which is, a market maker, which is, offering liquidity in the TDEX network. So I don't know, for example, I can say, let's try to buy something like this. Let's try to, to sell some Bitcoin to get some $3 of Tether, right? Mm-hmm. So we go here, we see here some confirmation. This is, the web developer decided how to implement this. So what we do is, for example, here we can see there is some liquidity provider in the TDEX network, behind an onion server. So we don't know who actually he is. But yeah, the thing is that what we do is to ask to Marina some way to to create the transaction for us, right? So doing accept, basically we are delegating to Marina to get your balances and create a transaction, everything in the browser. And of course, a transaction need to be signed by the extension some way. So yeah, it was a bit slow, but is still testing an alpha. So you just say, hey, I want to spend your funds, right? So there is this pop-up from the browser to say, okay, do you want to send it or you want to spend? This website ask me to do this. So you do this and you decrypt your wallet, you unlock. Okay, so basically that's much it. So we completed the trade, right? So this is in the blockchain, right? As I was saying before, everything is confidential here, right? So we see the addresses, which is, like spent in the blockchain. You can see, you can verify this, but you cannot see how much and what we are sending in the blockchain, right? So that's the real power, I would say, of Liquid.
So we don't understand that it was this video game NFT.
Exactly.
We can, and we don't see the amount of the.
Exactly. So as soon it will be confirmed, so in 1 minute from now, we will see also on Marina, the list of transactions.
That you're poor, that you don't have any more NFT.
No, I was not trading NFT. Actually, I sold my Bitcoin for some Tether. So we should see that 3 Tether here in 1 minute as soon, the transaction got confirmed. But the thing is that once you broadcast the transaction here, that is signed by Marina and is built, constructed by the browser, once you broadcast, either goes through or not. So that's the thing, is technically it's called atomic swap, right? So basically meaning that no one can steal your funds, or no one can hold your funds in this process. So is a cooperative way to create a transaction, and once we broadcast, boom, either goes confirm or not, right? So yeah, we got a confirmation here, right? So we should see it, hopefully. As always, you know, sometimes
one confirmation only.
Maybe two. Let's see if our balance changes. I hope so. You know, the live, that's the beauty of live. Maybe you can find.
Right. And basically, about
Okay.
the atomic swaps, you were saying, okay, in our case, this time everything is confidential. But are the atomic swaps confidential by default?
Actually, you can decide. So the wallets can either implement, you know, confidential transaction or not. But yeah, I would say that that's one thing that that is the threat model of the federation, is that if everyone is using confidential transaction, for the federation is hard to censor a specific transaction, because if everyone is confidential, the federation cannot target a specific attack. They cannot attack a specific user. So the only way is to censor everyone. So this, of course, will be end of the business for the federation, for the sidechain. So it's makes pretty hard, for people if we all use confidential transaction.
Okay. And when you say that you can decide whether it to be or not to be, is it if all the people decide to go for confidential transactions?
I think is the default. So Marina by default use confidential. Aqua, for example, does much the same. So it's mandatory to be confidential. So I will say that technically no one stops you to make normal non-confidential transaction. But I will say that right now most of the wallets in the Liquid ecosystem, they all implement confidential as a first choice, I would say. So yeah, I was saying, okay, we got our swap here. So we got our $3 we got from the Explorer. A cool thing that we can do is to create a special link. So I can create a link where basically in the Explorer, I can see the amounts, but only myself. As you can see here, you see this very green background is because, I'm creating special links which let me, unblind the amounts of the transaction. So this is maybe handy if I want to share with the friends or with other party to say, hey, please, only you can see it, right? It's like our unblind URL to see in the Explorer. So Marina implement this. So you can see, we got our $3 I was exchanging before here.
And this is something, again, you can decide in order to share. This is kind of privacy decision, whether you'd love to share this.
Exactly. If, for example, this is the public URL, as you can see, is a normal URL, so everyone can see this and everyone see like this. If I want, I create this special link URL in the Marina wallet, which is a bit longer here, as you can see, which I put some stuff that lets the website, the block explorer to decode these inputs to show me the tether, how much, and so on.
Okay, and if you don't create this, is the browser, when you have Marina integrated and plugged in, going to detect this automatically when you are looking for your transactions? If you
That's the idea. Yes.
Or you don't want to. Okay.
That's the idea. That's the the web developer can have a very expressive way to create all of these kind of apps. in the Liquid network. So yeah, if some developer wants to, play, creates apps that, integrate, that talks with Marina, they are very open, a lot of choices, they can do a lot of stuff. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that will be OpenDex is one of the first, but as soon in the future there will be much more web application that integrates Marina to do stuff like trading, lending, or whatever you can do on Liquid.
Okay. So and this is in testnet. This is not in production.
No,
Yet?
it's production.
It's production. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. We made this is a real funds. So I bought $3. So yeah.
Great, congratulations. And what the fee for $3? What's the fee?
Okay, so the fee is much more similar to Bitcoin, and also, I mean, Liquid is not that. There is much more, blocks. So it's not, and also it's not, used like the Bitcoin main chain. So I would say that this swap costed around, I don't know, like 50 cent, 30 cent. This is the fees which are public. So it's like 600 Satoshi. To do a swap, which is as you can see, a complex transaction. So you spend a lot of inputs and you send a lot of outputs. Maybe if you send less, just a normal transaction will be cost less than this 600 Satoshi. So it's pretty compelling and pretty competitive, I would say.
Right. So basically, you're paying for privacy and for 1 minute block. So
yes, of course, as a normal sidechain, you need to pay the fees somehow, right? So there is no other way to not pay the fees in a sidechain. Will be impossible to have something live. And yeah, but I mean, it's pretty compelling. So to do a swap, me, of course, I did a $3 swap, right? But a trader can do a 300K, 300,000 swap and pay the same amount. So yeah, I think for traders and arbitrator, or in general, it's for trading is really a nice solution to do like this DeFi. I would say, that decentralized finance can be built in a confidential and also much more economical and faster way.
Okay, so you mean that these fees are being defined not by the amounts of the assets that are being...
It's like Bitcoin, exactly. It's how much, the size of your transaction, meaning that here I'm spending, 4 inputs and I'm creating, 6 outputs, right? So this is a heavy transaction, right? A normal transaction is like maybe 1 input, 2, 3 output, right? A normal transaction, so it would be less, like 200 Satoshi, which is very compelling, right? To send 200 Satoshi. On Liquid, on Bitcoin, the minimum is 1 Satoshi per byte. On Liquid, it is much less. It's 0.1 Satoshi per byte. So this is something that is been done because on the contrary, confidential transactions are very heavy. So this way, and cost of a normal Bitcoin transaction. So it's very similar to Bitcoin, how the fees are paid, right?
Right. Okay. So having said all of this information, would you please brief me around the difference in this case when we implement Lightning and when we need Liquid?
Yes, a cool thing that I always tell to people is if you think about, there was a research where basically 50% of all Bitcoin transactions are basically exchange versus from an exchange to another exchange. So a transaction is done maybe from Kraken to, I don't know, Binance, right? So those are traders that they want to pay much more fees because they want, faster transaction, and they don't care about, how much are paying. So they create a lot of pressure on the Bitcoin blockchain. So if all the exchanges in the world, they will implement, Liquid, basically you don't need, to have all of this space to be used on the Bitcoin main chain, because half of the Bitcoin transaction are exchange to exchange. So you don't really need, censorship resistant, because, a trader want to send from, Kraken to Binance. So it's like custodial two custodial wallets, so doesn't need, you know, the real feature of Bitcoin. So I think Liquid is a way to scale, especially for these use cases. And as I said, you know, you have assets. So if you want to create assets, decentralized exchange, you know, a security token for your own company, a share, tokenized share, I think Liquid is much, much better. You don't need to create a new blockchain or use another exotic alternative currency, I would say. So you can keep it on the Bitcoin chain and doing, you know, tokens and having confidential transactions. So for sometimes, you know, it's even better than Bitcoin on privacy wise. But yeah, I think, and a lot of people say, but I will say that other scaling solution should be used, like Lightning Network is another thing. It's for micropayments, is is totally non-custodial. You don't have a federation involved, so of course Lightning Network, you know, you don't have all the trade-offs of Liquid. I think Lightning and Liquid, they solve two different use case, and they will live together, you know, as a scaling solution for Bitcoin.
So basically, Lightning Network is for fast micro transactions, while Liquid, we use it when big exchanges with big liquidity would like to transfer between themselves. So this liquidity in a more private way and faster, this is the biggest benefit of Liquid. It's fast and private.
Yes, exactly. I mean, as I said, to move a huge medium to large amounts, Liquid is much better. And also you don't have all the problem of Lightning Network, like, you know, having a node always online, having all the protocol of Lightning, which is opening a channel and so on. So you have a different complexities, right, to send and receive Lightning payments. Instead on Liquid is like Bitcoin. You just back up your own mnemonic, right? It's like Bitcoin. You just back up your private keys and you are good to go, right? You don't need to run 24 hours, 7, you know, a node online. You don't need it, right? So it's much, you can do cold storage on Liquid. You can do multi-sig. You can do everything you can do on Bitcoin. You can do also on Liquid, and even more, maybe smart contracts, more advanced. You can do it on Liquid that you cannot do on Bitcoin.
Okay. So what's the future of Liquid in this field?
I think it's pretty in a good position, you know, as I said, to scale Bitcoin. I really see, as my title of my presentation was, you know, Bitcoin finance. I really see it like where, you know, a real sound non-custodial decentralized finance can grow, like Atomic Swap, which allows, you know, DEX, decentralized exchange, is one of the thing. And of course, I see lending, like lending, borrowing in a maybe non-custodial way came out. You know, you can do a lot of more stuff, and I'm pretty sure that, you know, now with also Taproot will be deployed on Liquid, so you can do much more. Definitely also on Liquid, and Simplicity, which is a new smart contract language for Bitcoin, and of course also for Liquid, will came first on Liquid. So yeah, I will see a lot of the development activity grow on Liquid. I see like this, and of course new developer, new creativity, new, you know, new application, new use cases that I cannot, you know, imagine right now.
Great, great. It sounds very promising, and most probably lots of exchanges have already started using it. As I see, also people who are creating additional tokens and kind of NFTs and digital assets have started using Liquid. So it sounds like the future.
Yeah, so I think for Bitcoin, I would say Bitcoin finance and Bitcoin, you know, innovation is the spot for sure to test in a nice way without, you know, messing around with Bitcoin main chain, which is doing another job, right? So for experimentation is much better. And yeah, I see like right now the Toshi, which is the leading NFT, NFT platform on Liquid, coming out. Light Night, and
Which
you know,
one is the leading NFT platform?
I would say rare Toshi. It's called Rare Toshi, yeah. So it's coming out. That's super great place to to trade your own liquid NFT. As I said before, also there is Light Night, right? There is like a Fortnite video game, and you can add this skin in the video game, and you can have it trade, send to other user in the game on Liquid. So yeah, it's pretty nice. Also retail application. And a lot of other exchange like Bitfinex is on board, their trading is on board. So there are a couple of other big exchange coming out. But yeah, I mean, of course, it's a long road, to have more stuff.
Yeah. So many people are working on developing and integrating all these solutions. So I'm absolutely sure that it will go forward that way. So is there something that you don't like in Liquid in general, or you like everything in Liquid?
No, of course, yeah, it seems that I'm selling very hard Liquid. Again, I think it's a nice way for me as a software engineer to, to try new stuff. So I like new stuff. So, and it's much more freedom, and I understand why Bitcoin should be slow, to have new stuff. But as a developer, I really want to try out and do cool thing, right? So in general, of course, there are trade-offs. As I said, I'm very pretty honest upfront on this. Is a federation, so it's a proof of authority. So meaning that it's not censorship resistant, right? But as I said, if you need it, Bitcoin is born for that, right? And Liquid is just something that for Bitcoin, that if Liquid fails tomorrow, Bitcoin is keep going on, right? So that's the thing. It doesn't have any systemic risk.
After 6 months, you can have back the assets on Liquid, as far as I remember.
Yes, there's a mechanism. There's a mechanism where if the federation fails, there is a block where the multi-sig from the 15, right now can decrease. Also, there's a new feature coming out which is called dynamic federation, meaning that the multi-sig can add a runtime, so dynamically can add more functionary, right? So meaning that if couple of functionary become crazy and became adversarial, we can as a federation we can add others to take their own place. You know what I mean? So it's increasing some trade-offs to make it less, I would say less custodial in some aspect, in some extent. But yeah, I mean, it's I will not use the Liquid to keep the pension or retirement funds, but I will use it for trading, for creating NFTs, to do like new cutting edge stuff. So it's not one-off solution. So I think it's one of the solution to do a couple of stuff that you cannot do it on the Bitcoin main chain. So yeah.
And when you have said about Taproot, so that it will be also activated on Liquid. So is this something like it's simultaneous as long as everything is locked on the main chain? It must be corresponding to the side chain. So this is nothing additional that the Liquid environment is adjusting to. It's just automatic, right?
Well, no, in the sense that being a fork, in the end, is a fork of Bitcoin Core. So meaning that if you want to add the feature from Bitcoin to Liquid, they need to be added and they need to be activated in
like
this sense.
UASF user.
No, I mean, it's the code base is it's the same as Bitcoin Core plus stuff, right? Plus more stuff like confidential transaction and so on. So meaning that maybe much probably, Taproot will came before Bitcoin, right? So yeah, it's actually something that need to be proactively been done, to inherit, the Bitcoin new feature also on Liquid, right?
Okay, and I'm sure you're aware of a project RGB. And
Yep.
as far as I know, and I'm not very well aware because they're very technical and I really cannot follow up on them. However, the main idea, as far as I've understood, is similar to Liquid with the fact, excluding the fact that it's centralized. So in Liquid we have the centralized federation, and in RGB by default they're trying to create it in a decentralized way. So what do you think about this project? Do you have any feedback?
Yeah, I would say that it's an approach to do assets, other kind of assets, but it's not only assets. I think RGB is much more broader scope. But again, I regarding the assets, which is the only thing that is another use case which RGB and also Liquid is having common. I would say that I mean it's a different approach, and as you said, you can do it on Bitcoin main chain, especially you can do it on Lightning. That's the idea. But I would say that actually RGB can be done actually also on top of Liquid, and the Lightning can also run on top of Liquid. So I really see that RGB, when it will grows, of course, will be also maybe can be ported to Liquid. So it's another way to do assets, right?
I mean, it's going to complement. It's possible once it's ready to complement additionally, to scale additionally the Liquid sidechain.
I think it's just a different way to use transaction, right? On the Liquid sidechain. So instead of using the native feature of Liquid assets, you use a protocol on top. I will say like this. But maybe let me tell you this regarding your point about centralized versus decentralized. I would say that the creation of blocks, are in the hands of a federation, of a centralized federation. That's true. But if you think about an asset, it is by definition centralized, right? Tether if Tether is on, for example, on Liquid, on RGB, or on Tron or whatever blockchain, still you are trusting the Tether issuer, to redeem for real dollar. Or if is a security token, right? It can be whatever chain, you are still trusting who is creating the token to give you the rights, to give you the rights to use it, or the feature that this token gives to you. I will say that for the assets, I think that is not that so important to have a censorship resistant chain for for centralized assets. But yeah, it's again two different solution, two different technology, and I think they can be built one on top of each other. So why not?
To complement each other.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much, Marco, for this conversation. I really appreciate your time that you're spending with me, and I'm really happy that most probably I'm one of the first people who is seeing this demo, and in general your new projects that you are about
to
out. And
so T-Rex is coming out, so yeah, I think it's a very early demonstration.
It's an honor. Thank you.